Not long ago, I made a video about using the red filter when shooting black and white film. And then not long after that, I made a video about using the orange filter when shooting black and white film. Well, I'm back for a third installment in this series, and today we're talking about the yellow filter. If you haven't watched either of those videos about the red filter or the orange filter, fear not, because we are going to run through the very same fundamentals in this video. But do be sure to check those videos out, because as we're going to find today, every color filter, when shooting black and white photography, is going to have their own unique characteristics. For this test, I used the Bronica SQAI, and I shot a roll of Kodak T-Max 100. As for the filter I'm using the Tiffin Deep Yellow 15 filter. Before I get too ahead of myself, what's the deal with color filters, and why do some people decide to use them when doing black and white photography? Well, first of all, we need to understand that black and white film stocks like Kodak T-Max are panchromatic, meaning they register every color of the visible light spectrum and then convert them to black and white in various tones. To use black and white filters well, you need to understand complementary colors. Simply put, a color filter will let its own color pass through with ease and will block its complement, in this case purple and blue. The colors that they let pass through will render as brighter within the image, or just as a lighter shade of gray. So for this test, just like the other two, I took 2 photos of each composition, one without the filter and one with the filter. Every photo was taken on a tripod so that the frames should line up, and they were taken seconds apart so that there weren't any drastic lighting changes between shots. Now, something to consider when using any color filter is that when you put them on your lens, they're going to cut out a good deal of light. You're basically putting a semi-dark piece of glass in front of your lens, and therefore your exposure is going to be different. Depending on where you look online, you're going to get different answers about the yellow filter. Some will say that it has a filter factor of 2 and therefore you need to compensate 2 stops. When I did a little test looking through the TTL meter on this Bronica here, I found that 1 stop was more than enough. And the results that I got actually reflect that pretty well. That means after taking a meter reading of your scene without the filter applied, you'll want to add the filter and then adjust your exposure, either by opening up your aperture or by slowing down your shutter speed. A lot of people in my other videos suggested that for a more accurate test, don't adjust the aperture, just adjust the shutter speed, so I tried to do that in this test. For this test, I kept a log of all of my camera settings so that we could see all of this in action. Also, all of these filters are only minorly edited by me, so we can see the full effect of the filter without too much meddling. And without further ado, let's get to it. I loaded up my camera and got started. The first photo I took was of my cat Pierre, who was taking a nap on the couch. I'm currently shooting this at half a second, so I really need him to stay still. And we'll see if that actually works. I'm also thinking I'll probably raise the mirror up, and hopefully he stays still. And oh. And oh boy, I cannot wait to see this second photo. Oh, I don't know why I even try. If you go back to my other videos, you will know that every time I try to do one of these color filter tests, something inevitably goes wrong. My Bronica, seemingly at random times, just decides that it doesn't want to open the shutter, or something else is going on. I'm not really sure. And then, because this is how it always works, I put a couple more rolls through the camera and it's working perfectly fine, no blank shots, and then I go to make one of these videos and I get the black square of death. If anyone out there knows why this might be happening, please let me know. And spoiler alert, it does happen with the next photo as well. I took a photo of this newspaper box, and the one with the yellow filter came out fine, but the one with no filter got the black box of death. Luckily, the rest of the roll came out just fine, so we can resume the video, and we got at least 4 photos that we could use as comparisons. I walked over to the Brooklyn Museum to take a photo. Alright, so I'm taking a picture of this yo or oi sign. I'm choosing to click the oi orientation. Alright, let's get ready to go. Okay, and 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Now, filter attached. Our focus is still good. There we go. 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Love it. Here we can see the clearest change in yellow on the roll. Look at how the OI sign gets brighter when we add the filter. After that, I walked over to Prospect Park, and not 2 minutes into being there, I stumbled upon this. Okay, yeah, I took the hat. That's just some serendipity for you. I'm doing a yellow filter test, and what do? I stumble across a yellow bucket hat just sitting on a bench somewhere. And so here we have the hat without the filter and with the filter applied. So we can see slightly that the yellow of the hat gets lighter and passes through with ease, but what we also see is that the white petals of the flower on the hat sort of get blended in with the rest of it. And overall, we can see the contrast increase a little bit across the whole image. Look at the difference in the bench and the shadows surrounding the hat. After that, I wandered around the park looking for my next shot. Okay, I'm out here taking a photo of a home plate on this baseball field. Baseball diamond, I should say. And I don't know, I kind of like it. It's got this orangish yellow tint to it, so I think that when I add the yellow filter, it might have an interesting effect across the board, across the whole image, rather than just a select. There's a plane going by. Rather than just a select portion of the image that's yellow, it's kind of all going to be all yellow. It probably will soften the entire image if I had to guess. So let's see, make sure our focus is good. Looking pretty solid. And then 3, 2, 1. Got that. Okay. Now, we add on our yellow filter, and we're gonna go to 1/125th of a second. Ready to go. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Excellent. That'll do it. So what I thought was going to happen here actually happened. Don't you just love it when that happens? Since the scene itself had this yellowish tint to it, the entire image softens and you could see the shadows lift across the board. Now, one drawback I'm seeing with this image is that when you zoom in, you can see there's a dip in texture with the filter applied. I would say for this image, I prefer to see the roughness of the dirt and the cracks in home plate without the filter. Taking a small break because getting tired. Get some water. So if I didn't mention already, I'm in Prospect Park. Been walking around for a while, and I'm down to my last 2 photos, or technically my last photo. Pretty hot out here in New York, so I'm gonna drink some water and then get back out there. I think the boathouse is right around the corner from here, so I'm gonna go over there, take a classic photo of the boathouse to wrap up the day, and then head home and hang out with my cats. Because what else are you gonna do in the summer months? All right, I think we got that. Up next, I went to the boathouse in Prospect Park, a location that I photographed dozens of times before. I'm actually gonna swap lenses. Right now I've got the 80mm on. I'm going to put on the 50mm. Oh, that's definitely not what we want. So what? Right, that's 16. Up. Right, 1/50th. Definitely don't want that. So, all right, looks like we're going with that. F8, 1/60th of a second, which means when I add it, we're gonna go to 1/30th of a second. Let's go for it. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Love it. Oh, you know what I didn't do? Should have done 30th. I'm going to clean off this filter real quick. Always make sure that your filters are as clean as it can be. Okay. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. That's all she wrote, folks. That's the end of the roll. I was hoping to see a bit more of a difference in the green algae in the water, but what we did get was a good representation of what the yellow filter will do to blue skies. According to ilfordphoto.com, many photographers will use the yellow filter to bring out the clouds. This works by darkening the blue of the sky, therefore creating a greater separation between the clouds and the sky. Another thing to note here is that while the algae isn't affected very much, we can see a pretty big difference in the trees surrounding the boat. They become softer, less contrasty, and aren't as textured as in the no filter version. frankly, that about covers it. Typically, the yellow filter would act as maybe the first color filter that someone would use if they're getting into color filters in black and white photography, but as you can see with all of these videos I've made, I kind of went in the opposite direction. The results you'll get out of the yellow filter won't be as prominent as the red filter, and they'll be slightly different than you'll get with the orange filter. And so if you want to see what those filters will do, be sure to check out those videos. I'm thinking about doing an entire video where I do a test of all 3 filters on the same subject, so that way we could see the actual effect of all 3 filters on the same subject rather than seeing different subjects in 3 different videos. I use these 3 videos as a way of showing what to expect when you're using any one of these color filters, but it would be interesting to see which one I prefer using in a certain setting. For instance, outdoor landscapes versus an indoor portrait session with different skin tones. I could definitely see myself using the yellow filter in the future, especially for portraits where I want to ensure that I'm getting smooth, healthy looking skin, based on that one photo of home plate where we saw that it sort of smoothed everything out. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you found it useful, and I hope that you're going to go out and try out these colored filters for yourself. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell to be notified when new videos come out. Be sure to find me on Instagram, send me a DM, and show me photos that you took with some colored filters. You could become a member by finding that join button down below, and for a few bucks a month you could help support this channel. And last but not least, be sure to head over to my print shop where you could find prints of my work, and you could help support this channel that way. And that'll do it for the color filter test trilogy. I'll see you all next time.